All right, meeting is called to order. Order in the court. Randy.
Minutes of the December 5th meeting, called to order at 6:29 p.m. Minutes were read and approved. Financials were read and approved. I said, don't forget the project contest today, which looks like everybody remembered. And there's a request for programs. Look something up or present an idea, please. Activities are continuing the same. We did our elections. There were no write-ins. We asked. We talked about the second annual Kids Talk to Santa event, which was held on Christmas Eve. It was fun. Gordy's presentation, tools for the handbag connectors. It was a demonstration of tools for placing a variety of connectors. The meeting was adjourned at 7:11 p.m.
We have a motion to accept the minutes.
Motion.
Jeff. Second was Gordy. Any discussion? Anybody want to call her to task for any mistakes?
Don't want to do her job.
They're the new secretary, right, Randy?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Once again, Brandy, by the skin of the teeth, you did a great job. Thank you so much. Now,
Nobody's brave enough to complain.
Lee, you're up. If I can figure out where your report is and get it to the right side up, as we know, we have a little problem.
I used to be able to stand on my head. 50 years ago, 60 years ago.
You want this one or the other one?
We can do that one.
Okay.
Then we'll do that.
I'll stand by in case you need me.
Okay. Well, as you can see, a lot of dues have been paid. And they're taking one tonight. If anybody hasn't paid their dues and they want to pay tonight, I've got membership cards and so forth at the break. Just come on over. So there isn't a whole lot to talk about. I mean, we got a lot of dues, $380 in dues. 50/50 was $8. Utilities was $23.70. Now, last month, the utilities were $23.20, except that they weren't. I'm comparing. It's really easy to balance. I don't even keep a checkbook. It's really easy to balance because I can look at that balance and I can bring up the bank statement. They match, except it didn't. It was off 50 cents.
Uh-oh. Somebody's dipping in a till.
Yeah, well, I made a mistake. Bob got the right amount, but I inputted, you input garbage,
right.
you input garbage, you get garbage out, right? That's important. So anyway, you want to switch over to the other one?
My best. Yeah. Two old guys here.
So anyway, I went back and corrected last month's report. Square the world. So I mean, this is the abbreviated amount. $380 in dues, $23.70 so utilities, and $8.50 block. So we had a good month. We ended up with about $340 or something. It was good. So any questions?
Do we have a motion to accept the
I so moved.
Herschel? Second. Tom. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? I know we joke, but thanks for your good work. Appreciate it. Get this out of here. I think the next thing is the President's report. I'm offering a challenge.
Uh-oh.
The New Year's Ham Radio Resolution Challenge. And that is, I challenge everyone, including myself, to try one new aspect of the hobby that you've never done before. I've never had a contact on 60 meters. I'm going to build an antenna and I'm going to make a contact. Some of you have never done FT8. So think of something, you don't have to tell us, but I'll check up on you later. We've got so many aspects of this hobby that are fun. And it's easy to get in a rut. For years all I did was DX. And so now I did CODA. That was fun. So pick something that you've never done before and give it a try. See how it goes. Mike? All right, what's yours? What's your New Year's resolution for ham radio? Nothing like putting you on the
Yeah, I
spot.
was gonna say, I thought you were putting us on the spot.
No,
I guess
no.
I'll check up later.
Okay, we'll check up later.
I have a suggestion
I'm
for
just
you.
kidding.
Get your general.
Now,
Oh, he's-
that is on the
he's
list.
working.
Get off your butt and get your general.
Record that in the minutes. Bob says to get off your butt and,
Right.
all in favor? Okay, January 4, Saturday. We're a little late to the scene because it's this Saturday, but it is ARL Kids Day. And you're encouraged to kind of introduce a kid to ham radio. Now, some of you, your kids are, you know, older than Mike, but maybe you have grandkids. Maybe there's a neighbor kid.
My
nephew.
grandkids are older than him.
Well, that's true.
I've got 5 8th graders coming over from the robotics program at Lake City Elementary.
Oh, that's
Fantastic.
Cool.
I take
That's
credit
great.
for one of
Good
his
job.
kids.
Pardon me?
I take credit for one of his kids.
Okay.
I called dibs.
And, you know, I know it's kind of late, but it's kind of important because we keep talking about we want more young people to come into the hobby. And here's a great way to do it. So you may not be able to do it, but if you can, just have them come over, just turn your radio on. I know I've got a 7-year-old grandkid. For whatever reason, he's fascinated with CW. He just loves to pound on the key. Doesn't make any sense, but maybe that'll spark an interest. You know, maybe. So that's the way to, you know, replace us sort of older people. Sort of.
Can I add to that in the newsletter I put underneath, I copied that article from the ARL and put it in the newsletter. And there is the grant program for licensing
Yeah.
for kids under 18 that once they pass the test and, you know,
Yeah.
a parent, whoever paid the fee can send in a form and get that $35 reimbursed.
Robert.
Did you get that email from ARL recently about, they listed the SWAT list at Traverse City and everything? They didn't list Cadillac.
It's because I hadn't filed it yet.
Oh, you
It's
haven't?
been filed.
It's been filed. I never file it before the 3rd meeting.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
filed.
Well, is that why it wasn't in there?
That's why it wasn't in there.
Okay, next thing that's just a reminder, February 8th is the Traverse City swap. It's kind of the first swap of the season. Usually there's a blizzard and we slip and slide all the way up there. Please note that it is moved again to the VFW Post 3400 Veterans Drive. I sort of know where that is, but my, you know, MapQuest will get me there. So, and you know, maybe we'll carpool. See if,
There is a reason for that.
why?
Last year, the swap was at Immaculate Conception Church.
Yeah.
And that area had 3 steps going down, and they had 2 people fall.
Oh.
And so, I don't know if anybody litigated, but it sounds like somebody may have,
Oh,
and so that's why they moved it.
Yeah, well,
That's not
that's too bad, because that was a nice venue.
Very nice thing.
Number 4 on my list is a big thanks to all who helped make Kids Talk to Santa a success. There are a bunch of you. It was great. Again, just seeing those kids light up, and if you saw the pictures up here, there was a mom that wanted to talk to Santa too.
She did not want a bearded dragon.
She didn't want a bearded dragon. Her kid wanted a bearded dragon. She didn't want a bearded dragon, but she got a big kick out of it. And Brandy really spent some time recruiting her into the hobby, and she seemed kind of interested. So
Oh,
a
cool.
lot of benefits. Thanks. Yeah, that was great.
That's
And,
done.
How many people showed up?
you know, we estimate around 180, but it was more like 18, something like that. Uh,
20 adults and 16 kids or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So
Still.
it's you know.
Yeah, there you
the other
go.
way.
Heck, yeah.
And also we have great partners in the airport. The airport board puts on this spread of cookies and punch and hot chocolate and everything. Keith got some, made this certificate and brought crayons for all the kids. The city, I guess, Chamber of Commerce chipped in a coloring book that has all sorts of Cadillac things, including wings and wheels. So everybody had a good time.
Cool.
Yeah. And now, bear with me. We've got some famous people in this club.
Yeah.
I thought it was infamous.
Yeah, but
Well, this is actually famous. It's gonna take me a while.
I saw one of them on TV this week.
Me too.
Well, you didn't see this one on TV. Let's try this one first. There's a certain park ranger that saved a life.
If you click on the little square in the lower,
Can we click
once
on
the,
it?
once the advertisement goes through.
I can click this and bring this up.
I think so.
We have to watch an ad.
Oh.
Oh, we get to
No.
join our,
Hey,
I refuse to.
no,
join
thank
our-
you.
No, down in the lower right-hand corner of the video,
Yes,
that makes it big.
and then we want to get some volume.
Plus, find resources for retirement planning and
Pay
understanding
attention,
Social
Dallas.
Security.
Come on, this is for you.
I signed up. Join today for just $12
That was
for the
signed
first
up.
year with automatic renewal, and that includes a second membership free. Plus, you'll receive AARP the magazine and this free gift. Call or go online today.
Last week, Portage City leaders praised a park ranger's quick thinking after she rescued a child who fell through the ice. Josh Sanchez has details on the rescue and the ranger's safety tip on staying safe around the water this time of year.
Literally the best job I've ever had.
Tiffany Ruby has been a park ranger for the city of Portage for 6 months. The job's day-to-day can take Ruby through the city's 20 parks, helping with both upkeep and safety.
Being able to talk to patrons as they enjoy nature just as much as I do is probably my favorite part. I also really like animals, and being out and being able to spend time with animals is really cool too.
Water rescue also became part of the job. On December 10, city officials say a young girl fell through the ice in the pond near the Celery Flats Historical Area Pavilion. Ruby says she was fixing Christmas lights with other rangers when she could hear a group of children yelling for help. Ruby says the child was found 4 to 5 feet off the shore of the pond with water reaching the child's waist.
Not a ton was going through my mind other than get kid out of ice. So it was really important. Like it's my job to make sure patrons are having fun and being safe in the parks, and that was definitely a safety issue. No one wants to be in that position.
Ruby says she picked up the girl and got her to a heated restroom to warm up and reunite her with her mom.
The first thing we have on our agenda is recognition of a very special park ranger.
Last week, city council members got a chance to thank Ruby for going above and beyond.
What could have been a much worse outcome was averted due to the quick thinking of our ranger, and another positive reflection on our Parks Department and the job they do keeping us all safe.
The city manager said life rings will be coming to the park after this incident. Ruby says it was about being at the right place at the right time, and it's important to be watchful around ice regardless of the size of the body of water.
Always stay away from ice. You never know the quality of it. So even if it looks fun and exciting, it could really be one of the most dangerous things you've ever experienced.
In Portage, Josh Sanchez, News 8.
Congratulations, isn't that great?
He did it, not me.
You're the proud mom.
That fruit didn't fall too far from the tree.
And now there's another video, we're going to have it available at the end of the meeting, but I just thought you'd enjoy seeing that. I did.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, she called me, let's see, Tuesday afternoon, and basically about 3 hours before she was requested to be at the city council meeting, and said, hey, they want to, what do I do? And I'm like, shake hands and say thank you a lot.
Yeah. All right, now it's open
Stay off
mic.
the ice next time.
Open mic. Gordy.
I registered the swap. Bob mentioned he didn't see it in the Larry Camp's blurb that he puts out to league members, but I usually wait to see if there's going to be any changes or one thing or another before I register that. And so I registered it, well, I think the 31st of December.
Yep.
Yeah. And so the swap is registered. It'll show up in most league publications and one thing or another. The testing is not registered yet. I'm waiting for Steve to get back from his Bahamas vacation. And Steve is going to be the lightning guy this year. I'm going to proctor.
Oh, good.
And my wife is going to continue to do the paperwork.
So you can have a table.
So I can have a table. And what Steve and I are going to do in the future is alternate swaps. So Steve will be doing that this year. So
That's cool.
I'm going to have him come to the house, show him how to register, how to get the forms, all that good stuff. So that's what we're up to.
Super.
Nice.
Good way to go.
Any other
I'm up first tips.
open mic? Anything for the good of the order? All right, you can see the club activities, nothing's changed, so we don't need to repeat them, you can read. Net controls, I'd like to get all of January signed up if I could. So, who's gonna do next Thursday?
Nobody else, I'll do it.
Okay, Gordy,
I'll do the second week in each of the months, so the
Randy?
16th, the 20th,
and you're gonna do the 20th. Okay. 23rd. How about you, Tom?
Put me down. I think I'm doing a little more thing.
If not, I can fill in. 30th? Anybody that's never done it that would like to try it? It's really not that hard.
Well, I'll try to remember. Last week, I forgot.
Shame on you.
It slipped my alleged mind.
The nice thing is if you ever forget, there's always someone that's going to pick it up. So this isn't a big deal, but it's important to have somebody to do it. I don't have any old business, and I have one item of new business. As you know, we sell coax, and if you were here at last month's presentation, Gordy did a great job on all kinds of connectors, but I had my eye on that kit that puts the coax connectors on without any profanity.
I wouldn't say there's no profanity, but there's less profanity.
Okay.
I was gonna say, how about that in writing?
With Gordy involved, yeah, there's less, but it's not. It doesn't wipe it out entirely. I would like to propose that the club purchase that kit.
Would you like a motion?
Move it.
I make a motion that the club purchase that kit, and also to the club to purchase some connectors and the various inserts for our G8X.
Do you want coax for, or the tools for 8X and RG8, or just,
Yes.
okay. So what I will do then is I will go to DX Engineering, get a parts list. I'll email it to Lee, because he's gonna have to
Yeah.
take care of it anyway, and then he can go to DX Engineering and order that stuff.
Do we have a second to the motion?
Second.
Okay, in discussion, let me just explain my idea, is that we have Bob be the keeper of the kit. If you order coax and you don't want to try putting the connector on, just ask him to do it, no charge. Yeah.
So I'm not going to volunteer to put connectors on. I'll help them.
Well,
strip
yeah,
it.
right, right. But at
Show
least
them
we
how.
that way we don't have to have 8 people buying this kit. And, because you're not going to use it that much. But, you know, I've been putting connectors on for over 50 years. And
That was pretty slick.
I still end up, oh, I forgot the barrel.
You hit it 3 times in a row.
Okay, all in favor of that motion, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, duly noted, and you will work with,
I'll work with Lee.
and
getting
we'll
the
get
part
it ordered
numbers and
here,
stuff.
and that's good.
They have a kit that does both of them. It's all in the one kit.
I've got some.
Ken's got it.
Yeah.
It's all, comes in a
So what I'm
plastic
gonna,
case. and a
yeah, I
whole
was
bag.
gonna leave the nippers out though, because they can get them at Home Depot for about 1/3 of the money.
How much was it?
Yeah, but when they're in the kit.
I can't remember.
They're in the
Well,
kit.
They might save it. It might
Just do
save
the kit.
it. Okay, I'll find out what it is and get in touch with you.
Okay. All right, before our break, let me explain the process of this esteemed contest. And I think we've got a record. We've got 6 entries. You'll notice that they're labeled, this is an entry, by the way, this is not a podium. 1 through 6. I'm going to come around and give you ballots. What you do after the presentation, because they're going to explain what these things do, then you go around and you decide which one you're going to vote for and write the number on one of these. Got it?
Yes, sir.
We're adjourned for break, buy some tickets, get some coffee.
Get cookies.
Those are darn good cookies.
They are good.
Good cookies.
Good cookies. Good coffee, too.
Can we get it, go look down?
Oh, yeah, look around, think about that.
You're fine. You're fine. I can see that. Problems I don't have.
All right, now that we've tried to figure out what everything is, let's have the experts tell us. This was, I thought, a great podium. But Dallas
He's gonna bring it to every meeting.
Tell us what it really is. Come on up here, Dallas. Pay attention.
Here.
Thanks, but, please.
My wife's been wanting me to get her away, we can have solar panels when we're in remote camping. And I wanted to put all the stuff under my, well, under the bed where the water tank is at. But it takes a lot of cable, you can't have it too far away from the batteries, and I thought, you know, I'll get a board and I'll put it all on it. Well, then that kept leading one thing to another. So down here we have the actual inverter, and then we have a 60 amp 12 or all the way up to 48 volt MPPT solar control charger. So that will run that, you know, then that will charge those lithiums back on up down there. I got a pair of them. I'll probably upgrade to a single one so you don't have so much cable, where it'll be a 300 amp and it will still deliver the 200 amps to the inverter.
Oh, that's cool.
That will all work out. So when I'm camping out there, I'll be running like a cable, and I'll just pull the AC here.
That is good.
And then I can do the RV one. So when we want to, because to try to buy all that pluggage and all that, that's just a lot of extra expense. So then I can put the RV plug in here. And you know, I still, you got, and also I have it where I can charge up my other lithiums. They'll be out this port, kind of like that. And then down here's the solar array that comes into the, where you plug in your solar panels. Now I didn't bring the solar panels, didn't think I'd need it. Now if I got the magic lamps where I could roll the panels under the table here and turn on the magic lamps, plug it into the inverter, and don't charge batteries back.
We'd have power.
They have unbelievable results. However, they're kind of hard to find. In fact, they're almost non-existent. Wow. Because I'm joking. There's no lamps that's going to recharge your batteries from a solar panel. You know, you got to rely on Mother Nature, I guess, for that. Hopefully we'll have light for that, and then, you know, we can test it out and listen to it hum and everything. So, and if you needed to get down in there, I use this where it wasn't opening up the, so it wouldn't go back too far in the hinge, so peek in there.
Well, there is a necessity of invention.
What's that?
Necessities.
Yes, say that 3 times fast.
Yeah. Duty, necessities.
All right.
And then we can test it. I got an amp meter to look at and everything. Of course, there's also
All
a
right, that's number one.
bus bar in there.
Number one for your ballots. Don't vote yet. Number two might really catch your eye. And number two, that looks like Les. What is that thing, Les? Trailer hitch?
Okay, I got the photo bug from Lee. And, this is a telescoping fiberglass pole. It'll go up about 30 feet.
Let's see. Let's just see.
No, it's gonna break it.
And if it was, I have more room. I've seen these. These are really cool.
You're going the wrong way.
Yeah, it's gotta go up the other end.
That's all right. That's all right.
Oh, I
That's one heck of a cane pole.
Yeah.
That's how he learned how to fish.
Amen. I got one of those.
I did too. I used a cane pole.
Yeah. Now it's not gonna fit in his car.
I probably wrecked it.
No, I was going to show one of those. You can order it with and without that eye. I ordered it with the eye, and I was trying to figure out what to do. That's a key ring. It's one of those like, I could have had a V8.
Paid $20 extra for that hook, huh?
Probably.
So anyway, that's this is commercially available. I can, if you want one, I can leave or I can get you the information. They're out of the United Kingdom, but you can get them from a U.S. source, and they're cheaper to get them from the U.S. source than they are if you order it from the United Kingdom and have them shipped.
Is that spider beam?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vectroplex or something
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
it is.
Vibraplex.
This goes in the receiver on my car, and I scrounged around, and Bob saved me. This piece of pipe's the exact right size for that to go in. These were available commercially, but I couldn't find one that had the right size for that to fit. I got this at the steel place here. And
Elro?
then I welded it up, and this is real thin tubing. I'm not that good at welder. You know, I was trying to be real careful, and I aimed the stick at this gusset and struck the arc, and it instantly had a hole.
So I don't see a hole now. You must have figured out how to fill it then.
Well, this used to be about 2 inches longer. So I whacked that off and decided this was long enough, and then I brazed. This is a weld here, stick weld, and then this is brazed all along here. Yeah. Pardon?
I said I like to braise.
I do take right.
Yeah, good.
And then I bought, this is rated for 250 watts. It's a 10 to 40 meter in-fed, and it's a kit that ARRL sells. And I took a picture here to prove that I was building it. The worst thing is, it's not real clear when you put all these windings on that coil. I like the way they mount it. They've got a circuit board that screws to the back of this, and then you wire tie the toroid to that circuit board, so it's all solid. But I wound all this, and I came straight across to the top and wound that, and it didn't work. And then I got to doing some research, and you got to come over and then under and around. But it's got a fairly low SWR, and I guess that's it.
And that's your antenna, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Nicely done, Russell.
Good job. That's number 2. 3 and 4. Who did this stuff?
Me.
Oh, okay. Let's see what you got.
If anybody read their last QST or maybe the one before, they had a solid state dummy load. Well, Tim can tell you I'm about 3 months ahead of that article. These were used, these 250 ohm, 250 watt resistors were available used on Amazon for $4 a piece.
No way.
Yep. And so I ran them in series parallel to get them to 50 ohms and mounted them on this heat sink. I had a fan on it, but it was a 48 volt fan, so I was using a voltage doubler, and it was wavy, so I took it off. And the other fan wasn't here in time to put it on. I run it without a fan with 100 watts for 1.5 minutes before it kicks this normally open relay on. And that turns the fan on, which will be mounted on this side so it draws air through to cool this down. I was waiting for a 12 volt fan. But anyway, this is a normally open relay, and as soon as it hits about 190 degrees, it closes and turns the fan on.
That's cool.
And I've got other pieces of aluminum for this for each end for a case I'm making, but this was my quick and ugly, so thus ugly project.
Ugly project.
That relay, is that like a snap disc?
It's a snap disc. That's exactly what it is. And
They
it works
use
just
those in
fine.
furnaces.
Yeah.
Can you
It's
vote
cheap
from-
and they work.
Yeah.
So
Where'd you find the heat sink?
that I got a heat. What's it called? What I got at the cabin, Bob? Mini split.
Yeah.
And I had a board go bad. And this was in there, so I stripped the board off it and kept the heat sink.
That's nice.
So this is a junk box heat sink.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's about the same size as the one in the article. I run it with handhelds and stuff, and I don't worry about cooling. I've had it at, like I say, 100 watts for 1 minute 20 seconds for the snap disc pops.
Wow.
I think intermittent, it could probably take 500, no sweat, and it's there's 1,000 watts worth of resistors there, but I run curves on them, and I don't think they'd be safe to do that. So, but anyway, solid state, dummy load.
That's cool.
If you
So that's number 3.
well, I'm not done. There's a Smith chart here, and you can see by the color where that falls, and they're all well under 2 to 1, and it runs slightly capacitive. But, yeah, it works really well.
And if you don't understand Smith charts, come to our next club meeting. Someone's gonna do, I was gonna say Smith charts for dummies, but that's not kind. I'll call it Smith charts 101
For the rest of us.
for the rest of us.
Okay, this is a static arrestor. And there's a lot of people, I've got vertical inverted L antennas, and they get a lot of noise on those because they're just a stick in the air, and most noise is vertically polarized. And what I normally do is run a 1-to-1 balun with a 15 meg ohm resistor to bleed static off, and it quiets them down a little bit. But this is a static arrestor that I did the math for. It's a 43 mix Torade, 240, and I wound wire on it, and with 0.06, 10 kilovolt capacitor. Antenna goes in on this side, this goes to the transmitter. It's got a resonant point below 100 kilohertz. Wow. So it's transparent to RF. It won't show up as a short, even though when you look at it, go, that's a short. But RF doesn't see shorts the same way. And so I use this on my beverage, because that beverage, I was getting some snaps on that, and this took care of that easily. Got to put a ground on it. And then that capacitor, that Torade creates a resonant circuit that's resonant about 92 kilohertz or something like that. It's lower than my meter will read. Okay, and I got a little Smith chart here on this. There's the 100 kilohertz, and at 512, which would be, you know, one of the new ham bands, it's at 2-to-1. At 160 meters, it's like 1.23 or something like that coming up on the line. So it's really, really quite clean. And that's my stuff.
Yeah, we may have to disqualify number 4. It's not ugly enough.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that.
Look at all those wires.
Yeah, it's not ugly enough. But we'll let it compete.
Sorry, you're talking.
Who's number 5?
That's me.
That would be Phil.
I thought you were talking about mine not being ugly.
Well,
This is hard.
Years ago, I got a Raspberry Pi 2. I was going to mess around with it, and started a grandkid on it, but he didn't come up for the summer after all. So it's just been sitting there, and this is a Pi 2. It's old, and I saw ham clock. You remember the geo clock things that cost a mint? That were in fancy offices. Super cool. This is not the same thing, but this has all kinds of bells and whistles on it that it's both interesting to look at, interesting to play with, and once I get the Forever Shack and start operating again, there could be some good information on it. You have all these different panels that you set your home location. You can set a DX location. It can tell you what this panel tells you the likelihood of what band is going to be open between here and Scotland. And you can set your DX point. You've got the gray line, which is useful. You've got an Aurora map that shows where the Aurora is active today and where it's visible. On the air, that's one of the options that you can have. It'll give you the POTA spots there. You can probably get that done better elsewhere, but it's just cool. The only downside is that this is so small. My eyes aren't this good anymore. But when I get the Forever Shack, I think go buy a used monitor, take the board, put it on the back of it, and just leave it up and let it be a pretty display. Does it have an HDMI output?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And this kit has these neat little jumpers that's supposed to go from the circuit, from the Pi to the screen, but they have them for the 4 and the 5. They don't have them for the 3. So I've got the ugly things here. And when I plug in the keyboard, I get a low voltage warning. It takes a little bit more juice than what, I don't know if it's the cable or if the power cable or the brick, but it still works. It was fun to do. It's pretty nice.
very good. That's number 5. All right. Mike, you're up.
So, I didn't even think to take a picture of me building this, quite frankly, because I figured, wow,
We'd believe you.
You'd never see it commercial, you know, so that's that. So it is a 2-meter vertical, with a ground plane on it. I built this for like, honestly, it must have been under $15.
Wow.
I'm currently using a mag mount in my basement, believe it or not, to do my 2-meter work, and it's okay. It's all right. It's not great, but I gotta hide these from my HOA too. For those of you who don't know, that's my wife, and I love her very much. Yeah, she's not a fan, so I figured, you know,
No, he's not, he's got a wife.
I could throw this up in the attic of my garage really easily. Just get a U-bolt and attach this to a rafter. So
Put a loop in the end, just tie a piece of rope on it, let it hang.
Yeah,
That's what I was
work
going
too.
to tell you. Put
Yeah.
a loop on the end and string it up in your attic.
So really, it's just a UHF connector, female side. Can't see it, it's actually in here. But the coax just plugs into the bottom of that. And I went and cut just saw a bill at Home Depot and got 12 gauge bare copper wire. Cut it. Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was for. I told him I was building an antenna, so
There you go.
yeah, that's about it. Just attached it to the shielding side with a couple clamps. So
They work.
Nicely done.
hopefully it works well. We'll see.
The ones you can't see? The one that you can't see.
Okay, yeah, mine would say the same.
If you've ever been by Steve's place on Sunnyside, he's got a long wire antenna, and you cannot see it. I mean, you can stand right under it. It's really thin wire. So, before you vote, Dallas, how long did it take you to build this?
Well, after the last club meeting, you kind of inspired me because I had some parts on hand. And my wife claims it took me 2 months, but I only was doing it for about 3 weeks when I could get to it.
Okay. All
So
right.
pick at an hour or two a day. The cabinets seem to take longer than most of the components.
Okay.
And then finally collected all the components, and some of that wire was a challenge to cut. You think that little wire stripper you had? I was like standing on that one.
Well, you'd be surprised how quick they'll cut wire.
Yeah.
Les, how long did it take you to hide your mistake here? How long did it take to put this all together?
I spent maybe a day doing the metal work, the welding and all that, and then winding that coil twice, hooking that up, it's probably another 1 to 2 days.
Okay. Gordy?
10 minutes, junk box parts, other than the resistors.
Couple hours?
Couple hours.
And this one?
That one took a little bit more research. If you include research time, probably 8-10 hours.
Okay. Phil?
5 years, I guess.
We gotta have an award for the ugliest and longest project.
No, it took about, once I finally found the right link to download the latest software for the Pi, that worked, the screen worked, and you just run the compiler, whatever that's called, and then, it probably took an extra half hour to find the decimal latitude and longitude of where I was at.
Cool. And Mike?
So am I including my trip to Home Depot and the
Yeah.
time it took to heat
Yeah.
the solder on it?
Yeah.
Probably about an hour then.
Oh,
Yeah, it was pretty simple.
all right, I'm gonna save you getting up. Give me your ballots, and we're gonna get our
I already
treasurer.
entered in the league.
Okay, anybody got a ballot for me? Here you go.
That's hard.
Start counting, Lee. Any others? There's one.
If anybody's interested in those resistors, let me know, and I sent it
Highlighted,
to
we
Tim,
can see it.
but I'll find that Amazon link if you wanna get those. And they're just in series parallel. They're 200, they're 50 watt.
Compared to a can.
There's no oil in it.
Any other ballots?
Dry.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, my antenna functions essentially the same thing as that, right?
Which can't go oil.
I don't care.
Now, I hope this has inspired some of the rest of us
This sets up on top of
to build something next year, right?
That's why they're dry.
To build something. You were the first winner
Yeah,
60 years ago?
pretty close. 2007.
Okay.
That was truly ugly.
All right. We're just about to get the results in.
We got all the votes?
All votes?
Number one.
Oh, yeah?
Come on up here. Nice job, Joe.
On behalf
Oh, boy.
of the Wexford Amateur Radio Club, you are the ugliest. I mean, your project. Your project.
How'd you get those all the time? If that was the case.
There you go.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Fantastic. All right. I think that pretty much does it.
By the way, that
Except-
static arrestor, I've tested 2,500 watts with my Alpha.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it'll run legal limit easy.
We almost had a tie.
Really?
That's the shortest timer.
The shortest time. All right. Hey, I think it's great that we had 6. They're all great. And I think I'm going to try to build something for next year, and that'll be a miracle. That'll be a miracle. All right, check your tickets. Tickets, raffle. Everybody got your tickets? All right, listen up. Here it goes.
Okay, last 3 digits, 816.
Hey, 816, I thought we were winning.
Holy cow.
No.
Better play the lottery.
All right.
My goodness.
Oh my God. I'm on all over it. Boy.
All right, thanks for coming. Next meeting is going to be Smith Church 101. And if you want to come and look at these a little more, anybody want to take this home with you? I'll keep him occupied. You can slip it out there.
Anybody that's got a rig expert, antenna analyzer, the software that goes on your computer will generate those Smith charts.
I think we ought to hear from Lynn. He talked
Meeting adjourned. Thank you for watching.
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
They've all heard that.